given the location of Iran strategically, it's going to always be a very influential player in that region.
Well, then we have to be, but we have to be consistent, right, sir? I mean, and the rap against well, but the rap against the Carter administration, I'm sure you're aware, was that it sort of turned its back on the Shah, and then all of a sudden embraced. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, who do we trust now? Can we trust these guys?
No, I don't know. You can't trust anybody. That's the reason you talk to them. And one of the first meetings I went to in the Carter White House was to say to the National Security Council, we need to engage the middle class in Iran because the Shah is not as stable as we think he is. The CIA was looking at the Communist Party, which was nothing in Iran, but there was always a ferment in the middle class because they were locked out of decision making. Now, the only reason I knew that was that I'm a preacher and most of my friends ended up as missionaries. So that I would get better intelligence from missionaries who were living and teaching in a place than they could pay for or get through intercepts.
Well, as a missionary, then, as a trained missionary, do you trust this new government? Do you trust this new president when he expresses regret about the Holocaust and all? Because, as you know, Bibi Netanyahu, hear me out, sir. Bibi Netanyahu has said this is a trap. These guys are setting a trap. What do you say?
No, I say, look, we're wise. Our eyes are wide open. We can only learn more by engaging them. I think any sensible foreign policy learns as much about its enemies and adversaries as possible.
So when I hear the words, conciliatory words, or more moderate language out of this new president, what makes me not think that's just to drop sanctions, say and do anything they can to get the sanctions, and then resort, as we saw in North Korea and in other cases with despots, back to their bad behavior?
We've never really talked to North Korea. Billy Graham talked to North Korea. Jimmy Carter talked to North Korea, but we've never had every place we have trouble because we don't talk to people. If we talk to Iran, we will be better off than if we ignore them. And I just think, and I'm not saying you trust them,
right?
But I'm saying that you keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
So there are other Republicans, I'm sure you're aware, Ambassador, saying, well, before this president, our president, meets with their president, there should already be some preconditions for that chat, or some, you don't go into that looking like you're a weakling. What do you say to that?
I say, well, I can't say it on television.
Enough said.
I say that one of the things about Jimmy Carter would sit down with the devil if he thought he could move him an inch. And when Jimmy Carter got Begin and Sadat at Camp David, nobody thought that was possible. Everybody in the State Department said, this man is crazy. He shouldn't do this. It's a weak presidency. But Israel and Egypt had 40 years of peace where no Israeli killed any Egyptian and no Egyptian killed any Israeli. Now, I say running the risk of his reputation and having ignorant people think of that as weakness we need a little more of that in the world.
So when Israelis respond by saying, we feel abandoned under this administration, the Obama administration, we feel they're siding and talking to guys who wish us ill, what do you say?
I say that that's nonsense. Israel has always been our closest ally. They will be our closest ally. Before I went to the UN, I was taking with Martin Luther King, we were planning a tour group of 5,000 black American Christians to go to the Holy Land because we thought tourism was one of the things that could promote peace in the area. We're not going to abandon Israel or any of our friends, but that doesn't mean we should turn a blind eye to our enemies. We never stopped talking to the Russians. We never stopped talking. Well, we stopped talking to the Chinese until Kissinger started, and then he got us out of Vietnam. Talking never hurts. especially if you do it out in the open and in public.
Yeah, I remember your first meeting. I remember your first meeting with PLO, and you got in a hell of fire for just chatting, right?
Who was that? No,
was
you know,
you.
I never met with Arafat. I met with Zerdi Tersi, who was the Palestinian representative at the UN, who happened to be a tenured professor at Columbia University and a Christian.
But it set the stage for Arafat, right? In retrospect, it seems silly now, but it did set a good stage.
What we were trying to do was, this was the last generation of American-educated Palestinians.
Gotcha.
People who grew up at the American University in Beirut, the Friends School in Ramallah, and my classmates from seminary taught most of them, so they told me who I could trust and who was crooked. Right. And it was simply opening up a dialogue.
No, I remember it well, Ambassador. I wish you had more time, sir. Go ahead, finish that thought.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I got cussed out by the Russian ambassador's wife because I had Paul Newman coming to lunch and didn't invite her.
Oh man, well,
and she
far worse.
She called me up and she said,
slight.
Yeah.
Ambassador, thank you very much. Very good having you.
Okay.
Andrew Young.